A former slave opened the first school for African Americans in Toombs County. Several generations later, his family members say they are working to preserve that land and his legacy. News 3's Khalil Maycock shares their story.
The great-grandson of that former slave tells me working to preserve this 10 acres of land will allow his great-grandfather's story to live on for future generations. This property was once owned by a former slave. Charles and his wife, Polly Hicks, used this land to build Toombs County's first school for African Americans. It's also where Charles, who fought during the Civil War, and many other African Americans from the area are buried. Now, Hicks's great-grandson, Thomas Jones, and his wife say they're trying to save that important piece of history.
They were planning for a future for children who weren't able to be educated anywhere else.
And it's very important because they were such a pillar in our community. They've done some wonderful things to include the school that Laurell just mentioned, and we think that it would just be a tragedy if we didn't preserve that.
The Joneses hope that they can help turn this land into a historic site that would honor their ancestors' lifelong devotion to the community.
We want to have it registered with the National Registry as well as Georgia Registry. We want to get the cemetery back up to par. We should make this more of a park-like setting, a community setting, because they served a lot of the community.
But before the preservation process can fully begin, the property needs to be signed over. Jones says since the land was passed down from generation to generation, without a will, all of Hicks' heirs have to sign off on transferring over the land. They say there's a chance the property could fall out of their hands if they don't get all the signatures they need.
But all it takes is one heir selling out their portion of the land to a developer, and then that's a very real possibility.
God forbid that happen on this sacred ground.
The Joneses are hoping to get the signatures they need in the near future. In Lyons, Khalil Maycock, WSAV, News 3.